What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. I thought it was recording for a second, and I had to press it. I thought it was already recording. Anyway, so what's going on, y'all? It's me. We are down here to talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Baby, when I tell you the last part of the episode, I rewound and watched at least 5 times. Baby, when I tell you Sutton and Crystal are a mess, I'm here for all of it. It's a mess. It's a mess. So let's get into it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. And let's get into it. Baby, I rewound that part so many times. I fell out numerous times. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Who is this? Lil Wayne? Okay, so let's talk. All right, so... Okay, so Lisa and Harry, we start off with Lisa and Harry. They are shopping, going to get the ingredients and things for the bolognese that he is going to make for the ladies. They're going to come over to Lisa's house. I have to tell you, like, I feel like last week with the whole Tabitha situation, there's this conversation that needs to be had about gender roles and how we really are not really, like, I just love that Harry Hamlin is like well-rounded. Like, he's cooking, he has a garden, he builds shit. It's just like really attractive. You know what I'm saying? And like when you think about like gender roles, you know, like even Erica and not Erica, Dorit and Kyle was like, no, because I think Kyle's husband cooks. Doesn't Mauricio cook? Who was that said that my husband would never do this? I think it was Kyle and Dorit, because they came together. And he had set the table. He was like, Lisa didn't do anything, I did everything. I just love, like that shit is attractive to me. I don't care. I love it. At Kathy's house, they are playing tennis. Erica and Crystal and some other 2 ladies, they are playing tennis. Erica is not good at all. Crystal's very competitive. Go figure. Erica mentions that having a lot of money doesn't mean that you're necessarily independent. And you know, after they play their games or whatever, they go up to the house and sit down with Kathy, and they're eating. And Kathy says, you know, you get to live like free now. There's no forced smiles. Did y'all hear when Kathy said that? And Erica was like, yeah. It's funny because I was listening to this podcast that someone sent me on Twitter, and they were talking about some of the housewives who you feel like you can't get close to because they are basically lying. And he mentioned Portia, but then they went on to start talking about Erica. He says, I feel the same way about Erica. I should let y'all hear it. But he said it about Portia, baby. He called Portia a liar 3 different ways. Baby. Hold on, let me find it. Here it is.
Wait till either I'm making a video or doing my podcast, and then that's when I'll kind of go on the deeper journey.
Listen,
is there a housewife that you think or that you find to be especially closed off, where it's really difficult to channel them, in the sense that there are so many layers that they've seemingly, or boundaries that they've, walls that they have put up behind walls to try to enforce a sense that they don't want anyone to come further?
Sort of. I mean, there are definitely ones who feel so complex and complicated, and like you said, have so many different layers of consciousness. I actually just released an episode of my podcast deep diving Portia, because I kind of wanted to get into this, like,
oh wow,
yeah, that engagement, which was just so strange and controversial. Yeah. So and I said this at the top of my podcast, she's someone I've avoided for a long time, because I do feel there's so much in there, and it's like contradicting threads of information, because I experience her as very complex, and I experience her as a lot of times very disconnected from the truth of who she is, which that's kind of what we talked about on the podcast episode. She's had so many incarnations on the show, and if you think about where she started as kind of the Stepford 50s housewife, right, and you look at her now, I mean, it's really almost shocking to think about how far removed she was from what you might call her true voice or her true spirit back then. But I bring that up because it also shows, like, her deep capacity for splitting. You know, so when there's someone like
A
that
liar.
where it just feels like there are deep splits and there's lots of layers and they're a stranger to themselves, but also a lot of intense, powerful energy, I'll just kind of get a little overwhelmed and kind of be like, I don't want to go near that.
He said, and he feels the same way about Erica Jane. That they have walls in front of them, and there's so many contradictory threads of information, which I said, I have to use that. I have to use that one day. I loved it. I loved it. Anyway, so he said that about Portia and about Erica Jane. I don't know who the hell that man is, but he was on some podcast. Somebody sent it to me, told me the timestamp, and I got to it. So I love that now we're seeing these parts of Erica that I don't know. We're going to see, because in the next episode, even Garcelle's talking to Kyle and it's like we don't know who she is, right? Because the person's not living authentically, and it's sad and it sucks and it's effed up, but there's a reason behind it. Anyway, so Kyle is doing her Christmas card. Very cute. Aunt Kathy is here. They were talking about Kim. What's up with Kim? She says, I never feel like the three of us are all on the same page. We need to invite her to have lunch or dinner or something. But when I invite her to places, she doesn't come. And she's alone, and we don't see anybody that much anymore, and we need to get together. Erica, I'm projecting, because I was about to say Kim, whose middle name happens to be Erica, is a Virgo, and she probably enjoys her alone time and being that hermit. You know what I mean? So I feel like Kyle she puts a lot on it, because maybe she feels like she has to take care of Kim, but Kim can handle her own. You beast. They need to bring Kim back to the show. They really do. Lisa goes over to Erica's house, who is spending $9,500 a month on rent. I absolutely love Erica's house. It like when Lisa was going through, she was like, it's so charming. I love homes. I don't know where she lives. I have a feeling where she lives, just by the way that the house is designed. I have a feeling, but I love the way that house is set up. I love the layout. I love the floor plan. I love the outside. I love that little patio when you walk in the front. I love I love Erica's house. I love her house. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And then I think, was it Sutton? Somebody said, oh no, it was the producer, asked her, what is it like? Is she like, after 22 years, worried about money? And she was like, yeah, but not really. I've had all this, makeup line, shoe line, best-selling book on Broadway. I have money, but yet not Tom Girardi money, or settlement money from people. Yeah. So Sutton comes, she arrives, and she brings Erica the Dolce & Gabbana Queen's book, which runs about $400. Yes. Erica also mentions that she mentioned to Tom that she was going to see a psychologist, and he was like, okay, but also in the same vein, what do you have to be depressed about? You have all of this. What are you depressed about? So she's mentioning little things about how her relationship was. So now we're just learning about Erica Jane's relationship with Tom. And I don't know what kind of picture she's trying to paint, but we'll see as it plays out this season, actually. And it's a great storyline because it's really interesting. Somebody mentions the peeping Tom joke, and Sutton says she doesn't like the peeping Tom joke. She's over it. I don't like it. I wouldn't like it either. And it's not a joke because it really isn't a joke, and I feel like Kathy is doing the most when she keeps calling her Thomasina. I think she thinks it's cute, but Sutton just needs to say, I don't like it. Can we stop calling me that? Because I'm not a peeping Tom. What I did was a mistake. Bitch. That thing, did it land on my nose? Let me roll the window down a little bit. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, so I would be the same way. I would say, you know what, y'all, I don't like the peeping Tom joke, because what I did was I went into this girl's room. I didn't mean to. It was a mistake. It was awkward for everybody. Don't please stop calling me a peeping Tom. I don't like the joke. That's it. That's period. That's it. Garcelle and her sons are in the house or whatever. I always love Garcelle's scenes with her sons because I relate so much because I have a 13-year-old. I didn't know, are her sons twins? Because why are they both 13? Are they just close in age? Are they just like close? Like my sons are close in age, 18 months apart. I wonder, but one is, doing his Japanese lessons, and he's telling Garcelle you gotta be quiet. She's trying to prepare dinner, and she says, with the boys being at home, we're on top of each other. Let me tell you how I related so much to that scene. I related completely with that scene so much. Her trying to prepare dinner, trying to be quiet because the boy is on his damn homeschooling, and then the other one comes. Then you call the other one to unload the dishwasher. He comes down. He got an attitude. the other one is cracking jokes like, "What do you need?" And the other one has a little dark sense of humor. I was like looking at myself real quick and like trying to be quiet. And then did you see when Garcelle was like, "You need to stop"? Like, she checked him, she blocked him from the camera, but she was getting his face like, "Stop playing with me or you gonna have a rough week, okay? Don't play." And she said, "One day they love me and you don't want nobody else to marry mommy, and the next week they can't stand your ass." Hello, welcome to my world too. I fucking love it. She said, "Sometimes I go into the pantry and have a shot of tequila. For me, it is a hit of the blunt." I'm not drinking, baby, because let me tell you something. I'll be telling them, I said, y'all will drive somebody to drink. You will drive the parents. Shout out to all the parents out there, single parents. Shout out to y'all. Okay, so we get Lisa and Harry Hamlin. He's cooking. Let me tell you something. Everything I see Harry Hamlin doing, I find it very attractive. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It does remind me of my grandfather because he used to do the cooking. He did most of the cooking in my household. And it just reminds me, I just think it's attractive. A garden. It's just like a garden. I'm cooking. I'm setting tables. I love it. I fucking love that. So they're tasting the sauce. You caught him tell Lisa use a different spoon. She about to say, "Oh, let me taste this sauce. Let me taste this sauce." So he says one of his sauces is with the tomatoes from his garden. That's why it tastes so good. He's very proud. He's making everything. He already has the salads prepared in the refrigerator. He's doing everything. And so they said they have a birthday cake for Garcelle. Lisa saying that she's, trying to repair the relationship. It's been 20 years. Some friendships last, some don't. It's just life. It is just life. This episode was actually really good. I enjoyed it a lot. So Kyle and Dorit, I put Play Sisters. They're at Dorit's house, and Kyle is talking about how Dorit has all these decorations, and Kyle's like, "Well, I have 3 trees, but I don't have Santa's village." It's like the things that they talk about, right? And so, of course, Kyle, the Hermes bag spotter, she spots Dorit's bag, which lets us know that it was $8,100, a mini Kelly bag. So Dorit shares with us that, she's been in fashion design for years and this and that. And so she's now doing, she did her swimwear line, and now she's going to do a bridal line. And they showed her a picture on an IG picture that was dope as hell. I was like, okay, Dorit and her fashion sense and style, I bet she will make some pretty wedding dresses. I bet she will. Anyways, so they get to Lisa's house, and you see they're knocking on the door, and you hear Kyle was like, "Do we just walk in?" Dorit's like, "Girl, I just walk in." So they get to the door. She's like, "Oh, great." And here comes Harry. Harry answers the door. Lisa's getting herself together. They go outside. They're like, he was like, "Welcome." What did he say? He said some Italian city. And I don't remember what he said. But they were like, oh my God, they were so impressed with him setting the table. And they did a nice place setting. I was like, look at Harry Hamlin. And I do love the fact that Lisa calls her husband by his first and last name. I fucking love it. I'm here for it. Anyways, really, Dorit's outfit was so fucking fly. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or what the fuck, but it was fly as hell. It looked so okay, I'm going to brunch with my girls. You know, it was a very not her outfit was really nice. Kyle's okay, Kyle, but Dorit looked really cute. Baby Erica jumps out of the truck with these combat boots on, and she runs up to the door. Let me in. I was like, why is she so aggressive coming towards the door? Erica is a trip. I really hope we get to see the real Erica. I see her crying next episode. I mean, and it's sad that it's like we want to see you cry to see the human part of you. I think a lot of people really need that. And it's unfortunate that the only way that we see the humanness in somebody is by them crying, right? What is that? Oh, it's a reflection. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's my ring. I'm like, what is that? I thought it was like a bee or something because it was gold. I was like, girl, what is that? Another bee? Anyway, okay. So Garcelle arrives. As soon as Sutton comes up, somebody calls her Thomasina. Oh, Kathy. Kathy calls her Thomasina. Everybody's like, okay. It's an awkward laugh, and she's looking like, girl, I've had a hard day. I don't really want to play these games with y'all. Sutton is trying to keep it together. She is the baby. When I tell you Sutton makes me laugh so much because she's so wound up. She is so wound up. It is hilarious. I'm sorry. I get a kiki out of it. I find it hilarious. So she's trying to pull herself together because she said she had a rough day, right? So they're all sitting there like, come on, let's go eat. So they all sitting at the table. Harry's like, y'all got to hurry up and eat because you got to eat this hot and this and that. So everybody's eating. They're having small talk, talking about how they're going to go to Cabo, and they're not going to go to Cabo this year because of COVID. They don't want to get stuck down there if they just happen to, close the borders again. But their children are going down there, and Amelia is going down there as well. And then Kyle goes, is she going with Scott? They pan over to Harry. He is looking crazy. He's looking crazy. No, Lisa's like, no, she's going alone. She's not going with Scott. They all talk about their experiences with older men. Crystal says, my husband is, I think, 20 years older than her, did she say? And we're the exception, she said, okay? And then Erica says, I mean, some of us like older men. And she says, what can I say? It's life. It's just life. And then Harry says, what can he say? Because he was married to Ursula, and she was how many years his senior? 15, 16 years? How much is that? He said he was 29 when he had Dimitri, and she was 44. 15 years, right? So he was like, really, what can I say? And it's true, and it's like, when you're doing stuff, and like Lisa said it, she was like, you doing stuff as you're growing and going through life, and then you have kids. And that's why I don't understand when a lot of adults, when kids and young adults are doing things and adults act as if they never had those experiences or those feelings. It is so weird to me. I don't understand how adults become so detached from their childhood and their 20s and growing up and what it meant and the mistakes and the choices that you made, and then like you turn around and be like, these young kids are just what? They said that about your generation. They said that about your mother's generation. They said that about your grandmother's generation. These young kids, the world is going to hell. These young kids. I'm like, you did it too. What can you say? You did it too. You made some crazy decisions because you're wiser. Other people haven't gone through those same steps, and children especially, and young adults. And like I heard somebody say the other day that you shouldn't have sex until you're married. How do you explore your sexuality? Like, where does that come in? Didn't you explore your sexuality? Where do you come off as an adult trying to apply rules that you didn't follow yourself, or not even allowing a child or a young adult grace because you had this, and then you didn't even have the internet or social media. That's an added pressure onto these young adults. I don't understand how people just like detach themselves from their upbringing and how they grew up, or they're young, they're 20 in their 20s. Like I was watching Tanya TKO yesterday, and there's this thing going around called Smash or Pass, right? And it's just showing all of these guys and these girls, young adults, like they had to be between 18 and 25, and they're like they're telling you like, I'll smash you, I'll pass, I'll smash. Do you know that Facebook started off as a smash or pass page? Yes, it did. That's how it started off. But there's this idea that you don't go to a club and go and look around at the guys and be like, okay, yeah, I'll fuck, you already know, and you choosing doesn't mean that that's what's gonna happen, but you already know. So these kids are just saying it to your face, I'll smash. And then some of them have these weird ass preferences, right? So anyways, but it's the idea that when you were in your 20s, what were your decisions, or what variables, or what things did you take into consideration when you were choosing a partner that you were sexually attracted to? You understand what I'm saying? And then you're looking at these children with different eyes, and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. What are the kids doing these days? Nigga, you was down at Freaknik. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about, mama? Y'all was in the basement. What, in grandma's basement, doing the whatever dance y'all was doing back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Stop playing with me with these kids. Y'all get on my nerves with that shit. Anyway, so Harry basically said, what the fuck can I say? So anyways, they bring out the cake for Garcelle. And happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. So Garcelle gets ready to make her wish, and she says, I want him hung like a horse. And everybody just starts laughing. Then they show Harry said, be careful what you wish for. She said, and then Garcelle said, baby, I wouldn't even know where to put it. And then they cut to fucking Kathy Hilton, who says, I didn't know Garcelle liked horseback riding. Bitch, when I tell you I fell the fuck, I slid off the couch. Baby, the way that they edited that, it was perfection. And then with Kathy saying she didn't know that Garcelle, it was perfection. I love this episode. I'm not done, baby. Garcelle is getting on her presents. Sutton did not bring a present. Sutton is pissed off. She did not bring a present, baby. They show a flashback. Lisa told everybody, bring presents if you want. So Kyle notices that Sutton is unhappy. So she goes over to the end of the table. She goes, girl, what's up? She goes, I don't want to be here with people I don't like. And she was like, what are you talking about? She's motioning to Crystal, right? And Crystal's just sitting there, face all dewy. I said, come on, bitch. And she's smiling. Crystal is a mean girl, y'all. She's mean, and Sutton is a trip. But Sutton ain't too far off, okay? But it's funny because Crystal is so quick, baby. Wait a minute. So she goes, so she walks off. Kyle and Sutton walk off. They go down to where they were having drinks, right? And they're having a conversation. She's like, girl, Sutton is making up all these different excuses as to why she's upset. Kyle goes, girl, just tell me the truth. We are friends. Stop playing with me. What is wrong with you? Stop it. I just have a hard time being fake. Girl, you just told Kyle a bunch of dumbass excuses running down to the damn bar. What you talking about? You have a hard time being fake. And bitch, when they walked up, because they were going back and forth, and then they heard some, like, Sutton ends up raising her voice. And so everybody's like, what's going on? I hear some screaming. Are they fighting? So when they walk down, Garcelle goes, are you crying? What's wrong with you? She goes, girl, it's my allergies. Sutton, shut up. Girl, I just have these really bad allergies. That whole scene was a fucking mess, and I was here for every moment of it. Sutton says she still feels weird about the situation. She was like, what? Like, what did I do? Did I say something today? This is Crystal at first. No, it's not that. She was like, I just have, I feel weird. And she goes, for what? And she goes, let me just say my piece. And then she goes, and she hasn't even apologized to me. And I'm like, girl, apologize to you. What did Crystal do to you? Crystal didn't do nothing to you. Crystal, let me tell you something. Crystal better not. She's not gonna, because even Garcelle was like, girl, forget about it, because she's not apologizing. She was like, oh, that's it. Well, she's like, and so Kyle goes, this is not the Sutton I know. Kyle, shut up, because Kyle be acting in her fucking interviews. I don't care. Kyle was like, this is not the Sutton I know. She's irrational. She's emotional. Girl, yes, this is the Sutton we know. Irrational and emotional. What are you talking about, Kyle, in your interview? You're lying. Garcelle goes, Sutton, we are done with this. Like, girl, no, we're not doing this no more. Stop it. So she was like, I just can't do this and just be all hunky-dory. And then Kathy goes, who is hunky-dory? when I tell you, oh my God. When I tell you, I rewound that part so many times. Because I'm like, how did Sutton say it for Kathy to ask, who is Hunky Dory? Is that somebody's nickname? Oh, God. Baby, I rewound that scene so many times. So many times. So then she goes, Sutton goes, every day I pray to Jesus. I don't understand why Jesus won't just throw me a bone. Doree is like, Sutton, what is going on? I just want to make sure you think that nothing is being said about you behind your back or anything like that. So they were like, come sit down. Let's fix this. Garcelle goes, okay, Garcelle. She goes, let's fix this. What do you need from her? I don't need anything for her. She's like, stop playing because you acting crazy. Tell her what you need from her, right? Erica is over there like, what the fuck? The way that the cameras, like everything was happening, you could see everything like happening at the same time. You could see Kyle, you could see Garcelle and Sutton over there, and then Dorit standing off to the side. Erica standing like closer to where the women were sitting down, where Kathy was, and she's motioning to them like, girl, what is happening right now? Like, what the fuck is going on? And then you can see them kind of like in the back. It's a mess. I love the way they shot this scene. So Sutton is trying to talk, and Crystal interrupts her. And then when Sutton was like, let me just say my piece, Crystal kind of chuckled. That's the shit I would have done. Like, girl, you doing the most right now. And sometimes it's not, you will learn, sometimes it's not that she was actually chuckling, like laughing. It might mean that she's nervous. Like, some people smile when they're nervous, some people smile when they're mad. Smiling is just not always when you're happy, okay? I think a lot of people, we kind of, what I've learned from Malcolm Gladwell is that we associate emotions with the over exaggeration of emotions through media. And when we see somebody doing something that's outside of what we have assigned to that emotion, right? A smile doesn't always mean someone's happy. A smile means you might mean you might be ready to get your ass cussed out, right? A chuckle when somebody is going off might mean the person is nervous, not that they're really laughing at you. But Krista goes, I say, oh, bitch. So I thought Sutton was going to go off when she started laughing, but she didn't. Sutton goes, what crazy planet are you from? She goes, not yours. I said, oh, shit. And then she was like, Crystal is my girl. I am here for Crystal. I'm ripping the damn pages out. Baby, Crystal is my girl. So she goes, you did not, she was like, violate. They get on the word violate. Violate is the right word when you're crossing a boundary. I didn't like when Garcelle was like, girl, you were not naked. That doesn't have anything to do with it. When someone, if you're in your bedroom, I mean, everywhere, anywhere, somebody's in the bathroom, you just open the door to the bathroom. You don't know. They could be washing their hands. They could be whatever. They could be just doing it. You're violating my privacy. If a door is closed and you walk over that boundary without permission, that is considered a violation. Kyle says, no, she corrected it. She says she did not mean it that way. This is what Kyle is telling Sutton. And Sutton is, she is so wound up. She's about to bust. Do you hear me? I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for the word. I'm sorry that you're upset. And Sutton was like, no, that's not it. That's not how you do it. Baby, she was so upset. What were you so defensive? Why are you so defensive? Crystal doesn't look defensive to me. You the one that is acting crazy, girl. Crystal doesn't. Did Crystal look defensive to y'all? She did not look defensive to me. And then she was like, I know why you're upset, because you're jealous. And Sutton, baby, I rewound Sutton's face so many times. She was like, jealous? Bitch, for what? She was like, okay, I'm out. She put her shit down. She had a drink in her hand. Baby, it was so funny when Sutton was like going, like at the beginning of her meltdown, she was trying to make the drinks. What kind of drink do you want? What do you want in your margarita? And Kyle was like, girl, I don't want a margarita. I want you to be okay. Girl, we're not making margaritas right now, son. Sutton goes, I'm out. So she puts her shit down. She runs up the steps and she goes, Kathy tells Lisa, go and get her, because this is your house, girl. Hospitality. You the hostess, bitch. Go and get her. She goes, jealous of what? Your ugly leather pants? Baby, when I tell you, and the camera turned over to Crystal, and she's standing there with them leather pants on, and she just standing there like, what? She was like, what? Girl, it was so fucking funny. What was even funnier is when they're walking up the stairs after Sutton told Crystal her pants was ugly. Kyle, she's taking notes. Okay, she said her pants were ugly. She called her ugly leather pants. She said ugly leather pants. Girl, it was a mess. So I guess they finish it next week. It said to be continued. It was really, really funny, y'all. I enjoyed this episode. I'm about to go watch it again. I'm about to go watch that scene one more time. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything. Garcelle, you wasn't right when you walked away. She was like, girl, you was not naked. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Y'all are hung up on the word violate. You violated that lady's privacy. You walked into a room without permission. That is a violation of privacy. I don't understand. That's always been the word, a violation of privacy. But maybe what she's saying is you violated me. Well, you violated me by violating my privacy. Maybe it's the way that she's constructing that. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. Like, you didn't violate me, but you did violate my privacy. But that is violating me. But you didn't violate my person. Maybe she should make that clear. Because that's the way that what's her name is feeling like. That's how she's taking it. Sutton is out of control. She is out of control. And she is so perfect for reality TV. Perfect. Because at the same time, she takes herself seriously, but she doesn't take herself seriously. She knows she's wound up. She knows she's wound up as part of her personality. But girl, ain't nobody about to apologize to you for what? For what, Sutton? What did Crystal do to you? Because you don't like the word that she used for an action that came from you? What would you call it? I would ask that, and then what would you call what you did? What would you call that? What would you call if I walked in on you and you was in the bathroom? Violation? Is that a violation of privacy? I don't understand. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. I really enjoyed this episode. Shout out to Beverly Hills for that. Okay, peace.